What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Faster Fitness Show. Today we are talking about when is the best time to start on your summer transformation. Let's get ready to go. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Faster Fitness Show. Today we talk all about summer transformations. Yes, summer is right around the corner, whether you like it or not. So it could be a little bit scary. Maybe you got some vacations coming up, but we're talking about all of this stuff. So Frankie, there's so much to talk about when it comes to when to start. I think a lot of people tend to wait too late when it comes to summer, like June, right? And then it's like, I got a trip July. It's like, we hear that all the time with a lot of people coming in here to the gym. So there's so many ways to go about it. First and foremost, just know that there is not one correct way to do this. There are certain principles and protocols that are gonna be staples in any program that you follow. But Frankie, some ideas and thoughts around this topic.
Yeah, it's funny though. I mean, I remember the first time I heard somebody come in here in June, like, I need to lose 30 pounds by July, 10th. So if you wait, if you wait until May, June, you're probably waiting too long. You should probably think about 2021 for that transformation, right? Like I've been saying, there's so many different approaches and methods that you can use. So we need to quit falling into the stigma that what works for your friend or your coworker is gonna work for you. Just because your coworker had success doesn't necessarily mean you are gonna have success, right? I know a lot of times people are like, well, this diet doesn't work. It doesn't work. It does work, it just doesn't probably work for you, and it worked for that person. So I like the long-term approach in the sense of a slower approach to the summer transformation, not necessarily trying to lose just 20 pounds, 30 pounds in 2 months, giving yourself diet breaks, and then getting back into it. So, I always say January is a cleanup month, right? You clean up the diet a little bit from the holidays. You kind of start incorporating more whole foods. You get consistent with your workout routine again. Start drinking more water, really work on your sleep. Those little things that are gonna make you successful long term. And then come February right now, I think it's time to do your first mini cut is what I call it, right? 4 to 6 weeks total, where your purpose isn't necessarily to see how much weight you lose, but like maybe a smaller amount of weight, right? So example, say you have 20 pounds to lose, maybe you're only shooting for 5 or 6 pounds in the next 6 weeks. A little bit more digestible in the sense of we don't need to go full force, balls to the wall on this right away. We can take our time a little bit. And so the mini cut, with the mini cut too, anytime we do any type of cut, diet, anything, you need to make sacrifices. And I think we talked about it in a previous episode. If you truly want to lose weight, you need to make sacrifices. There's no getting around it. Like, you cannot go out and drink Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You cannot be eating out 6, 7, 8 times a week. You just can't be doing that stuff. So, 2 things to have a successful cut. You need to be in a calorie deficit, meaning you're consuming less calories than you burn on a daily basis, and you need to make sacrifices for that mini cut. And it could literally look something like this, where for the next 4 weeks, you are dedicating at least 5 to 6 days a week to exercise. Not every day needs to be intense, and we've touched on that before, but you should really focus on strength training about 3 times minimum a week. And then I always say do 2 things a week that you love doing. Do you like running? Do you like running the stairs? Do you like playing basketball? Do you like playing tennis? Do that stuff. Add that stuff in. Why? Because it's gonna be more sustainable for you, because you actually enjoy it. You look forward to it. I know you look forward to playing your basketball games. Sometimes you don't always look forward to strength training, right? Especially when you have a tough workout. It's kind of mentally, it's challenging for you to get into that routine of it. So do something that you love to do. Earn your carbs is one thing that I always talk about, right? If you work out, have some carbs, and try to stick to complex carbs. Try to reduce the amount of bread and tortillas, things like that. Try to reduce that stuff out of your diet for a little bit and incorporate things like sweet potatoes, rice, oats, some of those things. Also, increase protein. We're always gonna say that because most people always fall short. Try to load protein up as much as possible. It's just gonna help you. It's gonna be easier to sustain that mini cut. Increase your water consumption. And then I always think people should do daily weigh-ins, right? If you have a terrible, terrible, terrible relationship with the scale, don't do it. But use the scale as a metric, right? It's going to give you feedback on a daily basis of how you need to improve day by day, week by week, right? Essentially what a daily weigh-ins is, you wake up, you use the bathroom, you step on the scale, you write it on your calendar on a piece of paper. At the end of the week, you add up all your weights, you divide it by 7, you get a weekly average. That's going to account for fluctuations. There might be a day, maybe you did have some carbs late, or you ate later than normal, so when you wake up in the morning, you still have food in your stomach, which is going to increase your weight. Maybe you drink a ton of water, so you're holding on to some water. You're also going to have days where it probably drops crazy low, like 3-pound loss. Maybe you just underate drastically that day, did multiple workouts. So the daily weigh-ins helps account for a lot of that stuff too. So that would be my approach to a mini cut, and that's only about 4 to 6 weeks, and then we transition you off. And then you take a little bit of a break. So our goal during the break is still to maintain that. And then say come again in April, we do another 4-week cut, take you off again in May, and then do one more in June. And again, if you get 5 to 6 pounds, that's close to 15 to 20 pounds just doing 3 little mini cuts versus I'm going balls to the wall for 8 weeks. So that's kind of one of my takes on the summer transformation too.
So I really like Frankie's approach when it comes to, that summer transformation, that type of protocol. When push comes to shove, there's always those 2 things that are always involved when it comes to your transformation is calorie deficit and making some sacrifices when it comes to these transformations. Like, that's just a must. You have to do that. My approach sometimes throughout the years, we go on vacations, at least once a year, and it's during the summer. So one of the things that I like to do is gamify the experience because it just makes it a little bit more fun, makes it visual, and it's something that kind of keeps you motivated day to day. And it's worked for us tremendously. My fiance and I, we've done it when it comes to like the July or August vacations. We would have a huge calendar up in the kitchen or somewhere where we can see it every single day. And say it's 8 weeks away, we would put out about 60 days worth of boxes like in a calendar. We write down the days and then vacation day. And then a lot of this comes to about nutrition, training, all that stuff, right? So we talk about cheat meals. Cheat meals, how many cheat meals can we actually have in an 8-week period? I probably, like, depending on what my goal is, I probably wouldn't want to have one every single week. If I can maybe skip a week and then do it, skip a week and then have a cheat meal, that's probably going to get me the best results that I'm looking for. So in an 8-week period, I would give myself 4 cheat meal tickets, right? So every Saturday comes around, I lost a ticket, I put it on that Saturday, and then I got 3 tickets left. So it's kind of like a mental game where it's pretty cool, like where you just kind of see like, all right, I got 3 more left. Let me use them wisely. Same thing with drink tickets. When it comes to your transformation, especially for summer, you can't, like Frankie said, you can't go out every single night and have drinks on drinks on drinks and then expect that you're gonna get that transformation you're looking for. It's just not gonna happen. So I limit myself, same with the cheat meals. Whether if it's, I'm gonna be honest, it's a little bit more than the cheat meals, okay? I get more tickets, that's just me. So same thing, so I put them on a Friday or a Saturday or whatever day and like, all right, I lost it, I'm only left with X amount, okay? And then we have a couple checklists on that calendar. Did we work out? Okay, check. Did we eat our protein amount or under the calories that we're supposed to? Check. Did we get our steps in? Check. All the little things that you should be doing on a daily basis when it comes to your transformation. But it's something that I just enjoy seeing it. My fiance enjoys seeing it just on a day-to-day basis because it is a little bit of a motivator. So maybe that approach might help you when it comes to not just your summer transformation, but any vacation that you might have throughout the year could potentially help when you see something. I know it helps me, so we just wanted to share with you a couple different approaches. So anything else?
No, I like that approach too in the sense of a daily tracker or something like that. I use that with a lot of my online clients, nutrition clients. Whether you track macros or you don't, I have different trackers now for it. Like for somebody that does not necessarily weigh and track their food, their tracker literally looks like, and it's colored, everything's in a row on an Excel file that we both can see, and it will say like protein, veggies, carbs. If they've done those things, they put a little check mark next to it. And then if they've hit their steps, if they worked out, if they got 7 to 9 hours of sleep, That way, when we go and I check in with that person, we now have some metrics to see, like, are you doing what you need to be doing? Because just simply saying, well, I'm eating healthier, that has such a broad spectrum. Most of the time when people tell me that, I don't think that that's that healthy that they're eating. So having a list, right, a little checklist like that, I can go at Ivan's house and be like, damn, you guys are doing awesome. Like, all these text messages are checks. Or I can be like, dude, what's going on? You guys are missing a lot of check marks here, right? And it's to hold you accountable, because we all need some accountability. We don't all have the mental strength to just do it alone all the time. And we just need that support, right? And so I think the daily tracker is something great. And then, like, for people who do track their food, for example, like Coach Samantha here and her husband, they're some of my nutrition clients. They do their weigh-in every morning. I see that. I see what they hit in their calories, their protein, their carbs, whether they worked out. They rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being good, 1 being bad, how their energy was that day, what their mood was like. And it's just something that holds them accountable, because they know that I'm checking that out. They also know that they can see, like, multiple days in a row if they drop the ball. It kind of helps them get back on track, versus when we don't have systems like that in play, it's super easy just to fall off track because no one's checking in on you. You're not really, like, you don't have anything to really look at visually to help you say, like, dude, you're screwing up right now. As much as coaches and as much as we would love to always be on top of you, calling you every single day, checking in on you, it's just impossible. You got to meet halfway sometimes. And these activities are great examples of things that you can do in order to help you, right? I think sometimes it's daunting, especially for a summer transformation. You have 20, 30 pounds, even say you have 50 pounds. It's very daunting to look at it like, oh man, I only have 4 months left. And then it's like 3 months and you're only down 5 pounds. And then it's like 2 months, you've only lost 10 pounds. And you feel like you're so far away from that goal. And that's why I love the approach of making them more digestible and smaller little spurts. Like, for example, even if we used Ivan's and my, method that we've been talking about, we can create what he just did for a 4-week span, right? And then the next 4 weeks, we can do another, like, little thing where you're coming off of that, quote unquote diet necessarily, where we teach you how to eat more food, right? And then we can go back into another one where we're a little bit more restrictive and making a little bit more sacrifices. And then we can go into another month with a checklist where, it's having you come off of it and it's maintaining your weight and things like that. Like, that's an approach we can do all throughout the year, right? And it makes it more digestible if you just set a goal of, like, all right, 5 pounds this month. I want to lose 5 pounds this month, right? Because there's going to be some times when you don't. There's certain things that happen in life, and as much as even with a perfect plan and the summer transformation, like stuff we're talking about, it doesn't always necessarily go the way we want it to. There's things that are going to happen in your life that are going to derail you a little bit, right? But again, these little things that we do, we say them because they're effective in the sense they help you get back on track a little bit quicker. The hardest part about some of these 12-week transformation programs is it's so long, and what we've noticed is, about 3 to 4 weeks is like max for people to stay super consistent and stuff without getting burnt out and feeling tired. And 12 weeks is very difficult to do for a lot of people, but if we can just make it a little bit easier, and you can make it a little bit easier on yourself, instead of thinking 12 weeks, let's do 4 weeks on, and then have a transition period where not necessarily you're going out having cheat meals, but maybe you add 1 more day a week of, where you can have, instead of maybe you're only doing like 2 weeks of 2 drinks a week, maybe the next month we add in where you have, you can have like a night of where you go out with your spouse or something and have a cheat meal and a night of drinking, right? And a little bit less restrictive. And then in that month too, we add like another, day where we add some more carbs back into your diet, right? So we loosen up the diet a little bit, we loosen up the parameters, and then we do that for 4 weeks, and then you come off of it too. So, I like that approach and kind of combining. I've never even thought about it until right now, until you're saying it, about combining both methods. But again, you just need, I think for the biggest thing is we need certain metrics too, right? You need certain things, a little checklist to show that you're doing the things on a daily and weekly basis to have success too.
Yeah, there's certain things that you just can't ignore that work. You know, metrics, they work once you start getting to the hang of things and understanding how your body works, what motivates you a little bit better. And, you know, I'm gonna put it very simply to you guys. None of this will work unless it's something that you enjoy and know that you can actually stick to, because we would fail as coaches if we gave you something prior to knowing what would work best for you, as far as like what are your motivators, right? What are some things that worked great for you in the past? What are some things that didn't work at all? Those are like parts of the information that we need to know from you first in order to prescribe something to you that we know in a 4-week period, a 6-week period are gonna work for you. So understand this, that you are different than the next person and the person that comes after that. So we need to know that, hey, does something visual, like maybe my method that I have, something visual, will that work for you? Maybe that doesn't work for you. You know, with Frankie's method, as far as like just, you know, similar things, as tracking different things, doing that mini cut, is that gonna work for you? Going really hard for those 4 weeks and then transition period, whatever that is, be honest with yourself first. Okay, so be very honest with yourself first, and then understand, we've said this in previous podcasts too, that life will happen. It's inevitable that something in our life are gonna kind of derail us off of the plan that we have set for ourselves. It tends to happen all the time. But what I see a lot of people do is maybe 1 day, 2 days of this 4-week period is a nightmare. Maybe work is just insane. Kids' schedules is insane. Like maybe you're just not having the best couple days. What we see a lot of people do is they allow that 1 or 2 days to ruin like a week or 2 weeks and then just completely fall off, right? When you got to think to yourself, like, how important is this goal for me right now? How important is it for me to get closer to the 20 pounds that I need to lose, or the 10, the 30, whatever it is? That's the motivator that should be inside your mind, and that's kind of what gets your mindset going on a day-to-day basis. Like, I know I had a shitty day right here. I know I had a bad day, but let me jump right back to it. We've talked about in previous podcasts where people let the guilt get the best of them. Yeah. And, you know, whether if they messed up in food and drinking too much and, you know, oh, they jumped on the scale, it jumped 5 pounds because of fluctuation, and they don't see that and understand that, whatever the case may be. And then they just kind of go off the deep end. Like they just keep going like that. And that shouldn't be the case, guys. Like summer, like if that's important to you, if the goal is to, you know, look good, feel good before summer, things are gonna happen that are not under your control. But the most important thing is to know that you can easily bounce right back and just kind of get your mindset to where, what's important to me? Is this worth it? Yes, okay, let's jump right back to it. You know, so that's my take when it comes to that.
I think too, that people with going on with a whole mindset, you know, behind it, you know, you didn't fail if you didn't hit your 20-pound goal and like you still lost like 12, 13 pounds, right? I think you also need to realize that too, that success is success, right? And sometimes, you know, we fall short, and even as adults, even with your kids, you know, maybe they put all this effort into something and maybe they don't come up all the way, right? They don't get the A in their class, but they do so good, and you know about all the work that they put into it, and you praise them for that. So why don't we praise ourselves when we have success, and maybe it's not ultimately, we didn't get to the 20 pounds yet, right? And that's one of the things, the way we talk about it is, I don't ever say like, oh, no, you didn't hit your 20 pounds. No, we didn't get there yet. You still lost 12 pounds. You're doing awesome, right? It's just gonna take us a little bit longer, and that's okay as well too. Also with the mindset thing and the visualization, I actually just told the client this morning, I had her go and buy her bathing suit that she wants to wear. One of her goals is to wear a bathing suit. She's going on vacation this summer and she wants to wear this bathing suit, and she hasn't worn one since, she's like, probably since before she had kids. And I told her, I'm like, did you go buy it yet? And she's like, no, I don't even know what size to get. And I'm like, just get like 2 sizes smaller, and if it's tight once you put it on, or you know it's too big on you, then you get another size smaller, right? And just having that, and I'm like, just have it, keep it somewhere where you see it, like whether you open your closet and you're always seeing that bathing suit hang up, you know, because motivation dies out fast. Honestly, I'm not always motivated to work out. It's hard for me to think like, all my workouts for the week and what I'm doing instead of just focusing. Like sometimes I just need to focus on today's workout and get through today's workout, and then I'll think about the next workout, right? Sometimes we get caught up in thinking too far ahead. Just focus on that one day and like little things like that, having that, bikini hanging up, or having, that vacation, the like a picture of where you want to go hanging up. Sometimes that's just a little motivation that you need to. And a lot of the mindset behind transformations is that we set these huge expectations of when we think we should be getting to, right, whatever that goal is. And that when we don't necessarily, maybe we don't always hit it, or we're close and we don't hit it, we think of it that it's a failure, right? I think a lot of the things parents do with kids and what you do with your kids, I think that leaves clues of what we should be doing, right? In the sense of having a routine, and there's certain things you make your kids do because you know that they'll be better at school, they're gonna do better at their sport, they're gonna be more rested if they sleep 8 hours, but yet we don't do all that stuff ourselves too. So there's things that you do with your kids that I think you need to take a step back, look at, and realize that you can use that for yourself, for your transformation too.
Yeah, I mean, it's all on reflection too, because say we get to summer and you fell short 4 pounds, 5 pounds. How many times have we heard people like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't make it. I only lost 12 to 15 pounds.
Yeah.
I wanted to lose 20. It's like, here's why that sounds a little crazy to us and why we make faces anytime that happens is because we saw all the hard work that person put for the 8 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever. We saw that effort. They, for whatever reason, failed to see the little bit that they didn't do, right, versus everything they did do. So that just tells me that you're lacking reflection. That tells me that you're lacking, like, hey, the reason why I didn't do a little bit more is because I had that 1 week where I didn't come to the gym because work was crazy, or I had a family member's emergency, I had to go to the hospital, whatever it was. That 1 week, like, why can't you think about it that way where, hey, I missed a week, and that's probably the reason why I didn't get a little further, but I'm happy with what I got right now. Like, I look great, I feel great, and that's what we gotta, that's us as coaches, that's our role, where we have to tell people and kind of bring them back to reality is like, well, how do you feel right now in general? I feel good. It's like, do you look better in your clothes? Yes. What's the problem? It's like, we haven't reached that yet. Like Frankie was saying, we haven't reached that goal yet. But the thing about fitness is what? It doesn't last.
It's never ending.
It's never ending. It doesn't last 30 days, 6 weeks. So we keep working on that. But I think we need to stop being so damn hard on ourselves when it comes to all this, because I feel like when that happens, we lose motivation to want to keep going, and then we fall back into our old routine and we fall back into our old habits, thus making us not happy individuals, not the healthiest individuals possible. So reflection, I think, I preach about this all the time. You need to reflect pretty hard, especially when you come into these mini cuts and mini diets, whatever we're doing, like all the hard work that you did do versus the things you didn't do. I can't tell you how many times year after year I have lost and put on the same 10 pounds. Like, it's just always has happened because of the different times of the year, because of too many trips or too many traveling schedules, like whatever the case may be. But the thing you will never, ever hear me do is constantly complain about this weight that I put on and not being at my ideal weight. It's because a little bit of a skill set of mine is like reflecting constantly is the reason why this happened is because of X, Y, Z. The reason why this happened is because I did have, this going on. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. So that's the reality of it. And this is my reality when it comes to my weight and what I look like. And I mean, that's my personal example. But the thing that I felt, like what we just mentioned, the thing that I fail to see that people do is actually be realistic with what has happened in the last 8 weeks, 12 weeks, the reason why I haven't lost this weight, the reason why I put on more weight. But then how are you gonna let something like that affect your overall happiness? Why would you let something like that affect, certain relationships that you might have with people or your relationship with yourself? We don't want to self-sabotage ourselves like that, because that's what makes this journey so much harder for people, is when we constantly get in this negative loop because we can never just get out of this funk that we have. And it's a funk that's happened for years that people can't get out of. But you got to start looking at the positive side of things. And I know that's so cliche, but realistically, when you look at it month after month, year after year, the reason you haven't lost weight is because of, I guarantee you can actually answer that, but then it's a matter of how do you bounce back from that?
Yeah.
How do you actually start feeling good about the things that you are doing that are good for you, and then keep that going on a consistent basis so when you do get to summer or when you do get to the end of the year, you feel and look a lot better than present day.
Yeah.
So hopefully that makes sense.
I think one last thing, sorry before I cut you off, but like with these, transformations and things like that, I think a lot of the times what we're talking about is the self-sabotaging, that we're not telling you shouldn't set a goal for 20 pounds. We're not telling you that at all. But what we're saying is that if you don't get to that goal, don't self-sabotage, right? If you lost 15 of the 20 pounds, you should be like, hell yeah, I only have 5 more pounds to lose. I'm gonna enjoy summer a little bit and understand maybe I might gain 2 or 3 pounds back. But after summer, I'm gonna go back at it, and I'm gonna lose the rest of that 20 pounds. The most successful people we've had in this gym are not 8-week transformations. They're like 1 year, 2-year transformations. Charity, one of our clients, I use her as an example a lot too. She came to us in January saying, I really wanna lose weight. Got her on the plan, she lost about 15 pounds. Then she got stuck for about 2 months. Then she lost like another 10 pounds. And then she was stuck for a couple months where she wasn't losing, but she also was enjoying, she was going on camping trips and things like that. She wasn't going too crazy. She wasn't gaining weight, but she wasn't losing weight. And then we went through another transition where she lost a little bit more weight. Literally fast forward, it was about a little over a year because she started about mid-January. It was about February of last year where we hit like her goal weight. Right. Hit a weight that she hasn't seen in a very long time. And it's funny, I train her on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I think it was last week. I'm like, Charlie, how long has it been now? Are we over a year since it? And like, where's your weight at? She's like, yeah, we're almost to a year and my weight has stayed the same, right? So she's kept that weight off, right? The long-term approach, it was over a year to lose 40 pounds. There was times when she lost, there was times where she didn't. During those times where she didn't, she still enjoyed herself. She didn't go too crazy. She didn't revert backwards. She kept staying in that I'm good with where I'm at right now. And then we transition again, the whole mini cut. And that's where I got that whole mini cut approach, was literally using her, where we would go 4 to 8 week periods where we would really focus on weight loss. And then we won it. Then we won it. And now to the point where she's literally kept all that weight off too. So again, have that goal. She had that goal of a goal weight that she had in mind, right? And I think it was about 40 pounds. And, she didn't let the fact that she got to points where she wasn't losing, and long points, sometimes 2.5 months, 3 months where she wasn't losing weight. She never let that self-sabotage her to go backwards. We got her in the mindset, and she got in the mindset of, okay, like I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna get there. And, we would implement strategies, and then we'd get her losing weight again too. So again, set those goals, have them, but if you don't necessarily get to them yet, instead of being negative about it, like I was saying, look at all the positives you've done up to that point, right? You come to summer, you've lost 15 pounds. I guarantee you people are complimenting you. They're saying, hey, what are you doing? You look great. You're gonna notice your clothes are fitting you better. You're gonna have more energy. Use that as motivation, right? When people compliment you, what helps us as coaches in the sense when people thank us, they send us thank you text messages like, thank you for talking to me, being there for me, having the gym, things like that. That's the stuff that keeps us motivating versus, oh man, we didn't sign up 30 people this month. Oh, we failed, we suck, like blah, 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 right? No, we're always looking, trying to look forward and what we can do next, and using little doses of motivation helps us a lot too, so.
Yeah. So I think you got a couple different protocols, different approaches on what you can do when it comes to your summer transformation. And the answer is you should probably start now. You should probably start right now when it comes to your summer transformation. If you need absolutely any help with that, you can reach out to us. We're literally one message away to helping you get to where you want to be. So thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Faster Fitness Show. We will talk to you next time.